You ever get that, like you see a highlight reel of a fighter, and it's all knockout punches, but you just know there's got to be more to this story.
Oh, absolutely. It's like reading the first and last page of a novel, you know? You get the gist, but you miss all the good stuff in between.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today, right? We're taking something seemingly basic, like, in this case, Daniel Dynamite, Dubois' Wikipedia page, and we're going deep.
Because even a simple list of facts, like on a Wikipedia page, can be surprisingly revealing if you know how to look.
Totally. And you start digging into this Dubois guy, and right off the bat, you see he starts boxing at 9 years old. 9.
Which, isn't entirely uncommon, especially in certain areas.
Right, but then you see he's training at the Peacock Gym in South London. This isn't just some fancy fitness center, it's the real deal.
You're talking about a place that's practically a rite of passage for young men in that area, It's about way more than just boxing. It's a community hub, a forge for character.
Seriously, the history of that place, wow. Did that rub off on Dubois at all, you think? His fighting style?
Oh, without a doubt. The Peacock Gym has this reputation, right? It turns out these tough, gritty fighters, no nonsense. But here's the thing that I find interesting. Dubois turns pro early.
Yeah.
He had a fantastic amateur run, obviously talented, but he doesn't wait around. He jumps right into the deep end. What do you make of that?
It's gutsy, that's for sure. You've got to have some serious self-belief to make that leap. But then again, you look at his early pro career, and it's win after win, knockout after knockout. Like, the guy was a force of nature.
Sure, but, and this is crucial to remember, many of those early opponents, they were journeymen.
Journeyman.
Right, okay.
Experienced fighters, but guys brought in to, shall we say, build up a prospect's record. It's standard practice in boxing.
So those early wins, they don't tell the whole story.
Gotcha. But still, you got to take care of business, right?
Yeah.
And Dubois was clearly on another level until, well, the Kevin Johnson fight in 2018, first time he goes a distance. That's got to make you wonder, right?
Absolutely. Even the most dominant fighters, they're rarely undefeated throughout their entire careers. The question becomes, how do they respond to that first real challenge? How do they adapt?
And that is a fantastic question that we will get to right after this quick break. And it's interesting. It's like he took that Johnson fight, that first challenge, and he just leveled up. You see it in the Nathan Gorman fight in 2019.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That was a statement. And Gorman was no slouch, right? Solid record, tough competitor, but Dubois just dominated him.
Yeah, he was sending a message. And I think people started to really take notice after that one. It was like, okay, this Dubois kid, he's the real deal. But then 2020, the Joe Joyce fight happens. Talk about a turning point.
This is where the story goes beyond just boxing, It's about resilience, about overcoming adversity. Because that eye injury, that was serious stuff.
Broken orbital bone, they were saying it could be career-ending.
Exactly. Nerve damage, the whole 9 yards. To come back from that, it's one thing to, lose a fight and bounce back, but to overcome that kind of setback, that speaks volumes about his character.
And suddenly, all those quick wins after his comeback, they hit different. You know what I mean? It's not just about being talented anymore. It's about having heart.
100%. And then you fast forward and you get the Usyk fight. I mean, talk about a step up in competition.
Usyk, the guy's a legend.
One of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet, no question. And that fight, it had everything, didn't it? Controversy, a masterclass in boxing.
It's a low blow? I mean, come on. Was it a low blow? What's your take?
Oh, man. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You look at the replay, and it's right on that belt line. Rules are subjective, and in the heat of the moment, those split-second decisions, they have huge consequences.
The whole sport's like that, right? That's what makes it so gripping, but also so frustrating sometimes.
For sure. But even with the controversy, you got to give credit where it's due. Usyk was phenomenal in that fight.
Oh, yeah. Completely outclassed him. Speaking of which, have you seen the CompuBox numbers from that fight?
Oh, tell me about it. They were off the charts.
Talk about a dominant performance, right? Usyk landed twice as many punches as Dubois.
Exactly. But, and this is the thing with Dubois, even in defeat, he learns. He comes back stronger. The Miller fight. Statement. A reminder that he's still a force to be reckoned with.
A quick demolition job, basically. But you know what fight I think was the real turning point? The Hrgovic fight.
That was a war.
Hrgovic, he's a problem for anybody in the division. And Dubois he went out there. And
they made a statement, that's for sure.
Exactly. That was a statement win. And then off the back of that, he get the IBF title shot against Joshua. Did anyone see that coming?
Nobody.
And that weight difference. Dubois was huge for that fight.
Bigger than ever, but it wasn't just size though, right? It was like he'd figured something out. His technique, his power, it was all there.
You can see it in those knockdowns. That wasn't luck. That was a beatdown.
Dubois had a game plan, and he executed it to perfection. He just overwhelmed Joshua.
And that moment after the fight, when he's standing over Joshua and he's like, "Are you not entertained?" Chills. Where did that Dubois come from? And that moment after the fight, when he's standing over Joshua and he's like, "Are you not entertained?" Chills. Where did that Dubois come from?
You know, I think we caught a glimpse of, like, the real Daniel Dubois in that moment. The swagger, the confidence.
It was different, right? Like he'd arrived or something.
Yeah, he'd silenced the doubters, proven himself, and you could see it in his eyes, like, this is the guy he always knew he could be.
So we started with, what, a Wikipedia page?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up, like, uncovering this whole story of resilience, ambition. It's incredible.
Right. And it just shows you, like, you can't judge a book by its cover, or, in this case, a boxer, by his knockout reel. There's always more to the story.
Manuel Dynamite Dubois, man. Living up to that name in more ways than one. But where does he go from here? That's the big question, isn't it?
That's the beauty of boxing, right?
Yeah.
It's unpredictable. Is he the future of the heavyweight division? Or was the Joshua fight a one-off? We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know, man. Something tells me this Dubois story, it's far from over.
Me neither.
And that's why we deep dive, folks. You start with something simple, like a Wikipedia page, and who knows where you end up. Never stop exploring. Never stop questioning. There are fascinating stories everywhere. You just got to know where to look.
Couldn't have said it better myself.